writing your business plan for next year and for the years to come. Now, when you are putting together a business plan, there are some things, some key details that you need to make sure you have highlighted and described in those plans. Because if you don't have them, it's just going to be like you're having a joke sheet, and you don't want to be a joke. And when it comes to writing a business plan, the truth is, a lot of my friends has been calling me lately, and they're like, "Oh, I'm starting a business." And then when we get to sit down, and have this conversation and look into what they have, you realize that they have a wish list. And what is the difference between a plan and a wish list? A plan is when you have things written down and then you actually have it in mind to go work on those things. But a wish list is when you have it written down but you just don't do anything. And that's when we have this term called the entrepreneurs, because we have the entrepreneurs and the entrepreneurs. Now, entrepreneurs are those that have it in mind that they have this idea, this vision that they're working towards, and they're like, okay, you know what, this is the plan and we are going to execute. Entrepreneurs just have these ideas, they have it written down, and that's all that they have. So the main difference is the entrepreneurs have this idea, and if you look at them in 1 month or 2 months, they start taking actions with regards to those ideas. But the entrepreneurs, those that just want to be it, they have the ideas, and the second month and the third month and the fourth month, all they still have are those ideas. And my mentor would tell me, in the realm of entrepreneurship, or in the realm of business planning, we have 3 key people. We have the wingers, the thinkers, and the doers. Now, the wingers are those that just wake up and they just sort of, just wing it and just go along with, move with the flow. They go with the flow. But the thinkers are those that actually take some time out to think about their plan, look into that their data, and see what can be done to improve their current situation and move it to the next level. But at the end of the day, sometimes they might not actually take action. Now, the doers are those who actually go out there, think about things and now take action. They actually execute. So by the end of this video, my goal is to make sure I help you guys not just to move from being a thinker and a doer, but also to make sure you have the right content. Because when you are writing a business plan, you want to make sure you have these things. And I'll be talking about 2 types of business plans that you can look into. I have the traditional business plan and the lean startup business plan. And I'll be talking about the content of both of them. Now, also have in mind that this is not like the only way to write a business plan, but these are the key contents that you have to make sure you have them well highlighted in your business plan. And before we go any further, my name is Dapo Ibrahim, and if you are new to this channel, thank you for joining me on this channel where we help people to learn about leadership, communication, and networking skills that we can apply to our business and take it to the next level. And if you like this video, make sure you click the like button. And also make sure you click the subscribe button and help this community to grow. I would really appreciate it if you can do that for me. Without any further delay, let's go into the business plan. So the first question is, why do you write a business plan? Why? You are writing the business plan to make sure that you have like a base, like a foundation, a foundational structure that would guide you in the future. Now, take for example, in 2019, a lot of people had plans, but then we got hit by the pandemic, right? So what will happen to those who already had something planned? They will have something that will help them to navigate, unforeseen circumstances. But those who we refer to as the wingers will have a very hard time because, one, they don't have a plan and everything just happens to them. So the plan helps you to get in an active position rather than being in the reactive position. So that's one key essential reason why you want to make sure you have a plan. Now, what's in the content of the business plan and where are you directing it to? So right here I have it that a good business plan guides you through each stage of starting and managing your business. You will use your business plan as a roadmap for how to structure, run and grow your new business. It's a way to think through the key elements of your business. And if you are thinking of why is it that you should have a business plan, the truth is, regardless of how big or how small your business is, you always need to have a plan. Always. Be it your entire family, the way you run your family could be an enterprise on its own. So you need like a plan. The way you go to school and your study routine, it's like an enterprise. So you need a plan. Everything you do needs or requires a plan. And this is the point where you don't just see a business plan just as a plan or as a business plan, but I would encourage you to see it more as a life plan, because although I'll be focusing on the content of a business plan or what should be in it, the truth is, one of the reasons why I say you should see it as a life plan is because there is this popular saying that health is wealth. You got to make sure you have all these things all included. Your health, your family, your academics. Make sure you have them all inclusive when you are coming up with a plan. And that is why before you write a business plan, you need that quiet time to go to somewhere, where there'll be no distraction and think things through. Like think about how you want to go about this business. Make sure you have like your entire calendar from like January to December, and you see what is happening in each of those months. If you're taking classes, if you're going to work, what are you doing during the weekend? Whatever is going on, if you're going on vacation, if you have like family activities, you want to make sure you have everything well laid down on your calendar. Because if you don't have those things, inclusive in your initial planning, you will be having a hard time, because things happen. Now, if you have them right there, well laid out on your calendar, and you have like a time alarm that's always, constantly reminding you this is what's going to happen next week, so you are up to date. One of my mentors once said that he is like 5 years 5 years ahead of his calendar. And that means that he has things that he's going to be doing in the next 5 years. He has them already laid down on the calendar. Now, I don't know if he's exaggerating, but he's a great planner, But so what I'm trying to bring out is, when you are thinking about a business plan, do not just think about the business. Think about you, the person running the business. Think about your family that will also affect the business. Think about your environment. Think about your academics. Think about your relationship. Think about so many things, because they would all become a contributing factor to that business plan. Now, even though I am saying I'm focusing on the content of your business plan, I just want you to have that at the back of your mind, that even though this is all business plan, it still goes beyond that. Because, for example, if you don't focus on your health, there's no way you can execute any of this. If you're in the meeting and you're having like a back pain somewhere, or your knee pain, or your headache, or whatever, you won't give your best. So your health comes first. So you probably need to have like a health plan or a life plan or something like that. But make sure that when you are putting all of this down, you're also thinking about you yourself, who will be doing the execution. Okay? So why do we come up with a business plan? We come up with a business plan because the planning can help you in getting funding or bring new business partners and potential investors into your business. And that is why you have a plan. I've had friends come up to me on several occasions asking me to join them, to partner with them, to invest in their business. And then I ask them, where's the business plan? They're like, what? I'm like, show me a paperwork. Because you want me to invest, right? So show me something that would convince me, because you could tell me stuff, word of mouth, but I don't dwell on that. You need to have a paper that shows that you've done your homework, shows the research, so shows the resources, shows the financial forecast. And then I'll be like, oh, this is actually a prospective business. Okay, I cannot invest 50,000. This is 25,000, because you can make me see your plans. And this answers the question why. And also, it might not even be to raise funds or to get potential investors. It might just be you want to have a good guide for yourself as you are entering a new season, a good guide for your company as you are entering a new season. Oh, by the way, before we go any further, like I said, I've been saying in most of my recent videos that next year will be a year that we will be focusing on leadership, communication, and networking, and how we can bring those three main skills, implement them in our daily life, in our business, and use it to scale up 10 times, 20 times, 50 times. So at the end of this video, there will be a link below that will take you to where you can reach out to me. Make sure you watch this video from the beginning till the very end. And also at the end of this video, I have a link to 3 different PDF documents that I want you guys to download and use as a template for creating your business plan. And also, I have a new program where I'm focusing on teaching people about leadership, communication, networking. And if you want to be a part of that program, or you think you're fit enough to be part of that program, click on the link below and send me an email, and I'll see if you guys are actually qualified to join my camp. So now we understand why we're coming up with a plan. Okay? Investors want to feel confident that they'll see a return on investment. And I remember I've asked multiple number of my friends this: what's the ROI? They don't know what ROI is. What's the return on investment? Because if you're asking me to invest in your business, I'm not a stupid human being. I'm a rational human being. So I want to know what's the return on investment. So when I ask them, they're like, well, I don't know. I just want to navigate, just sail across. No, you can't just sail across with people's money. You have to be able to convince people to invest. And one good way of doing that is to having it down on a piece of paper and hand it over to them. Because if you don't have it on a piece of paper and you're just telling them, everyone will just look at you like, okay. And the moment you walk out, it's all gone. Everyone forgets everything you just spoke about. So you want to make sure that you have things well written down, well laid down, your resources, your forecast, and everything. Your business plan is the tool you'll use to convince people that working with you or investing in your company is the smartest choice they will be making. Okay? Your business plan is the tool that you will use to convince people and investors that working with you and investing in your business is the smartest choice ever that they will be making. And you can't do that with your word of mouth. You need to make sure you have it written down. Now, how do you pick a business plan that works for you? Like I said at the beginning of this video, there is no specific way to write a business plan. You need to know what business you're going into before you can pick something that would work for you and for your business. So the question is, how do you pick the one that works best for you? And that leads us to the 2 types that we have here. We have the traditional business plan, which is the traditional one that's more detailed, more accurate. It has all of these things: the executive summary, the company description, the marketing analysis, the organization and management, service and product line, marketing and sales, funding requests, and financial projection. Everything in the traditional business plan has all of this. It is more detailed. Now, the second type is the lean startup business plan. The lean startup business plan is a more simpler version, like a quick 2 to 3 pages, like the popular 1-page business plan that I could just put down and show people, like, this is where my company is, this is where we're going, this is our plan, this is what we want to do. It's usually like a quick draft, and most times it has to be super convincing. And depending on how convincing it is, most investors always ask for more information after you present them with the lean startup business plan. Your lean startup business plan usually contains, and we'll be talking about this extensively, so it usually contains like your key partnership, your key activities, your key resources, your value proposition, your customer relations and customer segments, your channels, your cost structure, and your revenue stream. So you want to make sure you know the difference between these two. And like I said, there is no specific way of doing a business plan. You just want to make sure your business plan has this content, depending on if you are choosing a traditional business plan or you are choosing a lean startup business plan. Do not worry, at the end of this video, there will be a link to a place where you can download the full PDF that has everything that I'm talking about. And also there will be 2 sample of business plan, PDF samples of business plan that you can use. I'll provide you a sample for the traditional business plan, and I'll also provide you another sample for the lean startup business plan that you will use as a template when you are formulating business plan for your own enterprise, entity, corporate, or small business or large business. But the earlier you start putting that, even if you do not need a business plan right now for your business, you should start putting it down, because you never can tell how big your business could grow in the future. Now, depending on how big your business grows in the future, you want to make sure you have something that you can show people and present to people that, okay, this was where we were at in January. This is June. Our goal was to make 50,000. This is June. We're making 250,000. Do you want to invest? This is the return on investment. The percentage return on investment is over 200%. Everyone will want to invest in your business because they can tell that you know what you are doing. And you're not just winging it. You know exactly what you're doing. And when you show people that you know what you're doing, they want to do business with you. All right. So, like I said, there's no right or wrong way to write a business plan. What's important is that your plan meets your needs. That is what's more important. Now, most business plans fall into 2 common categories: the traditional and the lean up. The traditional business plan are more common use of standard structure, and they encourage you to go into details in each section. They tend to require more work upfront and can be dozens of pages long. Whereas the lean startup, on the other hand, the lean business plan are less common but still use a standard structure. They focus on summarizing only the most important points of the key elements of your plan, and they can take as little as 1 hour to make and are typically only 1 page. Like I said, 1-page business plan. So traditional business plan is the type of plan that is very detailed, takes more time to write, and is more comprehensive. Lenders and investors commonly require this plan. So if you're the type that you want to make a business plan just to raise funding for your business or to invite investors, you want to go the traditional business plan route. Now, if you're just creating it for yourself, for something to just guide you, then you want to go in the lean startup business plan. But as we go further, you will start to see things. Now, the lean startup, this is the type of plan that's high level, focus, fast to write, and contains key elements only. Some lenders and investors may ask for more information with regards to the lean startup business plan. So this traditional business plan has formats, and these are the contents, the key components that you want to make sure when you are going this route, you want to make sure you have all these things clearly stated. And also you have to take advantage of these things to like advertise yourself, to tell companies and investors about what you're capable of doing. Tell them about your competitors. Tell them about the advantage that you have over your competitors. But we'll get into all of those details. But these are the things you want to focus on. The very first thing that you want to make sure that you have is the executive summary. Now, in the executive summary, this is where you tell your lender or your investor or your friend or whoever is about to invest in your business about your company. This is where you provide them with the information. You tell them about why your company has been successful over time and why you've made this amount of ROI and why they should invest in the company. Okay, so this is also where you include your mission statement for your product, your core values, for your product and your services, and also basic information about your company's leadership and team, employees and location. You should also include financial information and high-level growth plans if you plan to ask for financing. All right. Executive summary, you tell them about your company, your mission, your vision statement, your core value, the executive board, the team. You also provide financial statements, most especially if you're doing this in request for funding. Okay, and the next component that we'll be looking at is the company description. Now, company description, you use your company description to provide detailed information about your company. You go into the details about the problems your business solves. You have to be super specific and list out the consumer, organization, or business your company plans to serve. So you tell us about your company in this one. You tell us the problem that you solve, and you also tell us about your potential companies that you serve, or your customer information as well. And you have to be specific and list out the consumers, organization, or business your company plans to serve. Also, do not forget to explain the competitive advantage that you have in your company description, because you'll be talking about other companies as well, but you have to list out your competitive advantage that will make you or make your business a success. You know, are there any experts on your team? Have you found the perfect location for your store? Or your company description is the place to boast about your company description is the place to boast about your strength. And going from that, we go into the market analysis, because once you have this, now we know about your executive and your team. We know about your company. We know about what you're serving. We know about your competitors and the advantage that you have. Now you want to do the market analysis, and people love your financial. Once you come out with this, that you've analyzed the market, they love this, because now they know that you know what you're talking about, and they know that they can invest and trust you with their funds. You will need a good market analysis. You will need a good understanding of your industry, outlook, and target market. Competitive research will show you what other businesses are doing and what their strengths are. In your market research, look for trends and themes. What do successful competitors do? Why does it work? Can you do it better? Now is the time to answer these questions. So when you're talking about marketing analysis, you want to make sure you provide like an adequate research of your markets. You know about you know about your business, you know about your competitors and their business. You know what they are doing. You talk about the advantage that you have over them. You want to bring in your SWOT analysis, your strengths, your weakness, your observations, and the threats, because this is what will convince them that you indeed know what you're talking about. Okay? So you want to make sure you have your markets well analyzed and information well analyzed to make projections about the future. All right, the next thing is the organization and management. Organization and management, you have to tell your potential investors how your company will be structured and who will run it. They want to know all those things. I remember when I was writing a proposal to get funding for my nonprofit, I went through every single details that I'm sharing with you guys. I'm not telling you something that I haven't done. This is something that I have done on multiple occasions. You have to be detailed. You have to tell them about your organization structure. You have to tell them who's going to head what department. You have to tell them who's going to handle this business. You have to tell them what's the qualification of this person. They need to know if this person is the right fit for this office. So you want to look into your organization and managerial structure. Who is running what? Describe the legal structure of your business. State whether you have or intend to incorporate your business as a C or as an S corporation, form a general or limited partnership, or if you are a sole proprietor or an LLC. And at this point, if you don't know how to get your company registered to become like an SC corporation or S corp, you can let me know. Comments in the comment section. I can put together like a video and show you how you can get your company registered as a C corp, S corp, or as a sole proprietor, as an LLC, or to get, to make sure your company is protected legally. Or maybe if something goes wrong and you get a lawsuit, they don't sue you from your personal property, they only sue the business. Anything can come up, this is, of course, it is America, so anything can come up. So you want to use your, make sure you use, in this section, organization and management, make sure you use an organizational chart to show things visually. So they know the CEO, the marketing manager, secretary, whatever, those, the supervisor, the regular associate. You want to make sure you break things down. Those are like the regular structure. For example, in a retail business, we have like the store manager, we have the assistant managers, we have the supervisor, then we have the regular associate. Now that's within the store. Now it keeps going higher like that. We have like the district manager, we have the deputy district manager, we have the corporate head, so many things. So they want to see all these things so that they know that, one, you know what you're doing, and two, there is accountability within the organization. And accountability is very important regardless of what you do. Okay? Use an organizational chart to lay out who's in charge of what in your company. Show how each person's unique experience will contribute to the success of your venture. Consider including resumes and CVs of key members of your team. And the next thing is the service or the product line. You want to make sure you have it clearly stated. What service do you offer and what product do you produce? Is it something that's needed? Is it something that's already been supplied? Is it something that will take your competitor out of business? Is this something that people really desperately need? You want to make sure you, from your marketing analysis, of the demographic, the product that you're bringing in is the right product for that specific location. So your service and your product line, you have to describe what you sell or what service you offer. Explain how it benefits your customers and what the product life cycle looks like. Share your plans for intellectual property like copyright or patent filings. And if you are doing research and development for your service or product, explain it in details. Details. You want to make sure you explain everything you're doing in details, because you are going there to win their trust. And the truth is, regardless of how they say people feel when it comes to the business world. I know I'm very sure you guys are familiar with the saying that facts tell, story sells. People buy things based on how they feel, emotion. Yeah, that's the general people. But when it comes to investors, they don't do it based on emotion. They do it based on facts. So the more details you can provide these people, the better your chances of you getting them to invest in your organization. Okay? And then, marketing and sales. What are you doing with regards to marketing and sale? And when it comes to marketing, there is no specific way of marketing. You have to be fluid and adaptable because things are changing, you know. Technologies are changing. The government administration is changing. People change. People grow. People get more education. So you have to be fluid. You have to be able to adjust to the change. But you need to know how to market your product to the right, the right customer, to the right consumer. Your strategy should evolve and change to fit your unique needs. Okay? Your goal in this section is to describe how you attract and retain customers. How you will attract and retain customers. You also describe how a sale will actually happen. You refer to this section later, when you make your financial projection. So make sure to thoroughly describe your complete marketing and sales strategy. Okay? Make sure you're thorough when you're talking about your marketing and sales, because you will always come back here, especially when you're talking about your financial projection. All right. And then the next thing that you want to make sure you have in your traditional business plan is the fund request. Of course, that is why you're writing the plan in the first place. Unless maybe you're just writing it to have it as a guide or a map to navigate the future. Usually like 90% of those people writing business plans, they're writing it so they can bring in funding or potential investor. So after bombarding them with information and composition and facts and figures, then you want to go into the request for funding. Now, this is where you even put much more detail, because if you're requesting for $10,000, you don't just say, I'm requesting for $10,000. You want to highlight the details of how you will spend that $10,000. So maybe you spend $2,000 on rent, you spend $1,000 on machine, you spend $2,000 on salary. That's $5,000 already. If you do that for like 3 months, $10,000 is gone. So you want to make sure you let them know how much you need. And the same thing applies if you're applying for $100 million. You want to tell them exactly what you're using it for. So if you're asking for funding, this is where you will outline your funding requirements. Your goal is to clearly explain how much funding you will need over this period of time, be it 5 years or 10 years or 20 years, 25 years. But usually it's good to stick with like 5 to 10 years. And then you can keep, renewing it, because things change along the line. Even sometimes you could do 2 years because things change along the line. As you all know, the only thing that's constant is change. So specify whether you want debt or equity, the terms you'd like to apply, the terms you'd like applied, and the length of time your request will cover. Give a detailed description of how you use your funds. Specify if you need funds to buy equipment or materials, pay salaries, or cover specific bills until revenue increases. And always include a description of your future strategic financial plans, like paying off debt or selling your business. So you tell them exactly what you need, you give them a breakdown of everything, and also include your future financial plan. Because it's always good when they see that you have that much foresight and they know that, okay, if I'm putting my money in this business, I won't lose it because there's a way in and there's a way out. Okay, and then one of the most important aspects, the financial projection. You want to make sure you're able to project how much the investor will be making in the future, because that's why they are giving you their money in the first place, for you to be able to double it and then they get return on investment. Supplement your funding request with financial projection. Your goal is to convince the reader that your business is stable and will be a financial success. If your business is already established, include income statements, balance sheets, and cash flow statements for the last 3 to 5 years. If you have other collateral you could put, against obtaining like a financial loan, make sure to list it in the specific location. Also, provide a prospective financial outlook for the next 5 years. Include a forecasted income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement, and capital expenditure budget for the first 5 years. Be even more specific and use quarterly or even monthly if you can. That's quarterly or monthly projections. And make sure to clearly explain your projection and match them to your funding request. This is one of the best places to use visual graphics, one of the best places to use diagrams. This is one of the best places to use graphs to show projections of income flow and expenditure and profit. Very powerful thing to know. And also include appendix to show where you gathered all your research from. Appendix, just to show where you gathered all your research from, and proof that what you're giving them is not just garbage. You're giving them facts, you're giving them information, you're giving them things that will benefit them, benefit your establishment or relationship in the long run, or at least during the time in which you are doing your projection or your forecasts. Okay? And like I said, I would include this PDF in the link below, so stay with me till the end of this video. There will be a link to a Google Drive folder where you'll be able to download this PDF document that has all of this information, and this one inclusive, and also 2 samples of business plan. One sample for the traditional business plan and another sample for the lean startup business plan. So you will be having access to those in the comment in the section below. Just click the link below. You will find access to that, and you'll be able to obtain that information. Okay, so now let's go into the lean startup business plan. The lean startup business plan, we already established that this is one of the quick ones. This is usually the 1-page business plan. This is something that you can sit down in an hour and put it together, but you want to go straight to the point and have your details well laid out. And when you provide investors or potential funding partners with the lean startup business plan, they usually ask for more information. Now I'll be talking about a specific model that is usually being used to come up with this lean startup business plan. That is the business model canvas. It's what's usually being used. But before going into that, you might prefer a lean startup format if you want to explain or start up your business quickly. Your business is relatively simple, or your business is relatively simple, or you plan to regularly change and refine your business plan. I'm gonna read this again. you might prefer a lean startup format if you want to explain or start your business quickly, or your business is relatively simple, or you plan to regularly change and refine your business plan. Lean startup formats are charts that use only a handful of elements to describe your company's values and proposition, infrastructures, customers, and finances. They are usually they are useful for visualizing trade-offs and fundamental facts about your company. There are many versions of the Lean Startup template, but one of the oldest and the most well-known is the business model canvas, which has all these components, which was developed by Alex Osterwalder. Yeah, you can search the web, you can search online and find free templates of the business model canvas or other versions to build your lean startup business plan. But for the purpose of this video, we will be talking about the business model canvas, because this is a setup in the business model canvas, and you want to make sure if you are using the quick one, the lean startup, because that's the point of the lean startup. It's a quick draft to just show what your business is all about. But you still want to make sure you have all these components included in that quick setup. You still want to make sure you have them all included. No two ways about it. All right. So the very first thing you want to make sure you have is your key partnership. You want to make sure your founders know who your partners are. Who are those that you're in business with, or who are those that you are in bed with, whatever. But yeah, you want to make sure you have them well listed out, your key partners, because you know what they say, show me your friend, I tell you who you are. Note that other business or service you work with or run your business. Think about your suppliers, think about your manufacturers, subcontractors, and similar strategic partners. Those are the people that you include in this section. You want to know your key activities. You want to make sure it's listed out. Let them know exactly what you're doing, what product you're selling, what product you're curating. Your business will gain a competitive advantage. Highlight things like selling direct to customers or using technology to tap into, sharing economy. You want to make sure you list out your key resources as well. Whatever your business is, you should know your key resources, but you want to make sure they are all well listed out if you go in the lean startup business plan route. You want to make sure you have your key resources. You want to give your most important assets. It could be your staff. It could be a specific certification that you have. It could be your building. It could be your location. You just want to make sure you list out your key resources as those things that's giving you the competitive advantage, over your competitors. So you want to make sure you have that listed out as well. Your value proposition, make sure you make a unique statement or a very clear statement about the value that your business brings to the market, especially if it's already a market that has a lot of people doing almost the same thing that you're doing. So you want to make sure you list out the value proposition. You say clearly, indicate and demonstrate the value that your business, that your company brings to the market. And then customer relationship. Who are your potential customers? Where do you find them? What do you bring to them? How do you retain them? And who's in charge of retaining those customers? So those are the kind of things that you want to look into when it comes to customer relationship. You want to describe how customers will interact with your business. Is it automated or personal? In person or online? You got to think through the customer experience from start to finish. Customer segment as well. You have to be specific when you name your target customer. Super specific. You need to know who your customers are. Your business won't be for everybody. So it's important to have a clear sense of who your business will serve. And then also the channels. You gotta list the most important way you'll talk to your customers. Most business use a mix of channels and optimize them over time, but you have to know how you communicate with your customers, your means of communication to them. Then the cost structure. Will your company focus on reducing cost or maximizing value? Those are the kind of questions you want to answer. So are you focusing on, reducing costs or maximizing value? So you have to define your strategy, then list the most significant cost you face pursuing it. And revenue streams. Explain how your company will actually make money. Some examples are direct sales, membership fees, selling advertising space. So if your company has multiple revenue streams, then make sure you list them all. There's so many ways to which your company can make money. Membership, advertising space. So just list it out. And like I said, I will be attaching a PDF sample of a lean startup as well. There will be a link to a Google folder below. Just click on that and it will take you to the PDF sample. So that is it with writing your business plan. Like I mentioned before, I was mentioned at the beginning of this video that there is no specific way of writing a business plan. You just want to make sure you have all these things highlighted in orderly fashion in your business plan. Because those things, when you have them there, it makes people know that you exactly know what you're doing and they are not taking so much risk investing in you because they know that they will have a return on investment. And that is one way to outperform other people or other people. And even if it's not for you to raise fund, the fact that you have your plan will provide you with guidance going into a new year, and it will provide you with structure, to follow when you are running your business. That being said, be on the lookout for the PDF in the description section below. In 2021, we'll be focusing more on communication, leadership, and networking. So I will be mentioning a lot of videos, tutorials on how you can strengthen your leadership abilities or how you can strengthen your communication ability and how to network with people better than what you're currently doing. So make sure you stay tuned. If you like this video, click the like button, and if you're new to this channel, make sure you click the subscribe button with the bell button so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be the first person to receive the notification. Until next time, I'll be seeing you in my next video. Thanks. Bye-bye.